Do you know how some people seem to have all the bad luck, right? But at the end of their troubles, they become amazing, humble human beings. So if you feel like you've had some extra hardships, maybe you're a spiritual warrior. It's like the easier your life is, the less appreciative and caring that you are. Maybe this is not the case for everybody. But if you feel like maybe you've been dealt a crappy hand of cards, maybe it's time to rethink that. Maybe you're a spiritual warrior. So, what is a spiritual warrior, okay? So the term spiritual warrior has been used since ancient times to describe certain souls who are full of resilience, strength, and simply have the ability to face things head on, over and over, right? These brave souls abhor ignorance and cruelty in the world, and they feel like they're here to dismantle evil and outdated ways. Sound good, huh? So let's look at some signs that you might be a spiritual warrior. Okay, so number one, you know that you're here to break generational curses. Spiritual warriors often feel like it's their duty to break negative generational curses or patterns. So if you're the one in your family that said, no, this is where the cycle runs out, you could be a spiritual warrior. Some generational curses can be things like addiction, codependency, money issues, coming from a lack perspective, cheating, marital affairs, gluttony, being attracted to violent men or women, or gold diggers, or even just like smaller issues like hoarding or maybe arguing. These can be generational patterns that are dysfunctional and need to be broken. Next, you're the black sheep of the family, right? This kind of goes with what I was just saying, but if you've always felt like maybe you don't fit in with the rest of your family, you could be a spiritual warrior. Your divine mission is here to clear the karma on your bloodline. So obviously you're not going to fit in, right? If you weren't the black sheep, you wouldn't realize that these issues need to be broken in the first place. In fact, you might not even be a sheep at all, right? But maybe you're a lone wolf. Woo! Okay, so next you want to be heart-led, right? Or maybe just intuition-led. So if you follow like your intuition wholeheartedly, you might be a spiritual warrior. Typically, a spiritual warrior can distinguish like ego from intuitive soul truth. So if you've been following your heart ever since you were a little kid, then this is a big sign as well. Spiritual warriors follow their heart in all things. They read and learn about what they love and they're passionate about, no matter what society tells them to do or school or whatever. Next, you're very spiritual. Are you fascinated by everything spiritual or maybe metaphysical, right? So if you've always been interested in things like astrology, tarot cards, quantum physics, maybe you're a spiritual warrior. Even as a child, you knew that there was a veil covering things that you couldn't see, and you felt the energy, and you knew something was there. Could be a spiritual warrior. Okay, next, you're committed to the truth, right? You absolutely hate lies. You don't like to lie, you don't even like to hear a lie, and you have a keen sense of picking up on lies, especially the ones that seem to have everybody else under a spell. A spiritual warrior will distance themselves as far away as possible from lies. Not to mention, they will always seek out the truth in all things. Next, maybe you get knocked down a lot, but you get back up, right? If your life has been a series of knockdowns, but you keep getting back up and dusting yourself off, maybe you're a spiritual warrior too. Warrior spirits are known for their resilience. No matter how many times you get knocked down, you don't stay there very long. You don't lay down and waller. Maybe you feel like your life has been full of tests after test after test. Spiritual warriors can go through tests and trials so that they become better people and be able to help others. Some of these tests can also tie back to those family curses that I was talking about that you're here to break. So, if any of those sound like you, then maybe you're a spiritual warrior too. And we need spiritual warriors right now more than ever.